Mead, glorious mead, how can we have a feast without it? Greetings, this is Nick Saint-Erne, and today I'm going to talk about how I make my mead. The closet of the eminently learned Sir Kenelm Digby, Knight, opened, whereby is discovered several ways for making of methcalin, cider, cherry wine, etc., together with excellent directions for cookery, as also for preserving, conserving, candying, etc. That's a rather long title for a recipe book printed in London in 1669, which expounds on the wondrous virtues of mead, an alcoholic beverage made by fermenting honey. Also known in the past as mead, the name of the nectar of the gods comes from the Sanskrit madhu, which means honey. Mead has been around for thousands of years. Honey was one of the first things to be fermented into alcoholic beverages. Early meads were simply honey and water. Later, spices or fruits were added for variety. The mixture was left open to the air, and wild yeast would start the fermentation process. For this batch of mead, I used a 5-to-1 ratio of honey to water, using Arrowhead bottled water, 5 quarts, to 1 quart of Mrs. Crockett's Hill Country honey from Tempe, Arizona, which I bought at Costco. I brought the water to a vigorous boil in a large pot and then lowered the heat to a slight boil, adding the honey, stirring well. Boiling will help prevent unwanted microorganisms in the mead and also will cause proteins to precipitate to help clear the mead. Skim the surface of the mead as you boil it to skim off the protein. After about 20 to 30 minutes, there'll be very little protein scum building up on the surface. At that point, you can turn the heat off and let the mead cool. Once it's about 104 degrees or 100 degrees, so cooled down from the boiling, you can then add the yeast and bottle it. I use a 1-gallon glass bottle to make my mead. Then I use an airlock on it to allow the carbon dioxide gas to escape without letting oxygen in. It will take about 2 weeks at room temperature for the mead to initially ferment, and you will see the bubbles that are the CO2 gas escaping through the airlock will start to slow down when the process is near completion. After the initial fermentation period, I transfer the mead into securely stoppered glass bottles by siphoning the mead off of the sediment, which will collect at the bottom. These bottles should be tightly sealed and kept in a cool location, either wine cellar temperature or even refrigeration. After the primary fermentation, the mead is placed into the secure bottles and then can be kept refrigerated for anywhere from a few days to a few weeks, and it'll be good to drink. Or you can let it age and keep it up to months to a year, and it'll still be a great or even better tasting honey wine. Brew ye up some mead, and have a tankard or two, the first to their royal majesties, and the second to me and you. A votre santé. Thank you for watching.